We're here to talk about what happens to teenagers and why they change and how come, a lovely child will suddenly wake up at 12, 13 and you kind of go, who are you? What happened to my beautiful kid? Essentially, what we're talking about is we need to understand a little bit of the processes of the way we learn and the way our brain develops in order to understand the changes that occur during the teenage years. The brain is 86 billion neurons. These are small nerves. For the first 3 years of life, they're growing, and it's like a tree that grows, and there's twigs everywhere. There's no form or substance. And then at about age 3, the brain will start to cut away the bits that aren't used. And from there, and for the next, until people are about 11 or 12, everything we learn is we keep the neural pathways that are used most frequently. We're learning about our own self-identity. We're learning about feeling included. We're learning about being kind. We're learning about these things. If we're learning about shame, if we're learning about guilt, we'll keep those too. If we're learning about fear, we'll keep those, whatever we use a lot. At around 11 for men and 12 for women, for boys and girls, there's a whole new growth spurt that happens. And there's a whole bunch of new neurons that grow. And they all grow in this part of the brain called the prefrontal cortex, behind my hand. After that time, through the teenage years, up until about 18, maybe 20, 21, 22, we're now learning what we use a lot of and what we don't use a lot of. And what we don't use a lot of won't be kept. Parental approach means essentially that the parent needs to be able to approach their child in a calm manner, okay? So if we start approaching our kids when we're worked up, which is when I do it, I've really got to talk to them about this now, when I'm starting to approach a kid, anybody in that state, I'm in what is called my sympathetic nervous system, my fight-flight response. So I'm quite reactive, I'm quite defensive, so I need to make sure that I'm calm enough. And what happens when I'm calm? I move from that fight-flight to another the parasympathetic nervous system. Angry? Or am I in fact tired? Am I stressed? Am I irritated? Am I confused? I might not be angry. Have a think about what is going on for you as a parent. The amygdala, our emotions, they exist in the middle part of our brain, the limbic system. Okay, and the limbic system is right in the middle. If you liken it, it's like this. Okay, the limbic system's there. Our frontal lobe wraps around it like this. It's connected to our emotions. The thing that takes the frontal lobe offline is the pruning process during teenage years. So those emotions are now exposed. So the anger, fear, sadness and love, the 4 big emotions, are now exposed without a lot of regulation going on. So obviously there's a high risk time when that frontal lobe isn't quite working well, and that's the period of teenage years to learn to adapt to this. And anything we can do as parents to allow that, to enable that, to facilitate that learning is good work.